Max, we're in the time of year where high school football schedules are starting to come together. People are figuring out their district and non-district schedules here in the state of Texas. But one thing that's come about in the last week or so is about an exciting interstate matchup pitting Oklahoma against Texas, specifically Mansfield ISD against some of the very best schools up there in Oklahoma. And here to talk about it is the athletic director of Mansfield ISD. We're joined by Philip O'Neill. How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Excellent. We are also joined on the line by Steve Dunlap. He is the associate AD at Union High School. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing great and glad to be here today.
Well, we are very excited to talk to you guys. And Mr. O'Neill, I want to start with you. This is a situation where Mansfield ISD is going to take on some of the very best and brightest high school football teams from our neighbors to the north. Can you tell us a little bit about how this partnership came together?
You know, the superintendent and I were sitting in the press box watching one of our games and talking about some of the publicity that some of the, the Dallas area schools were getting. That we felt like our schools deserved, and our students and our coaches deserved, to be recognized. We feel like we're the best football, multi-high school district football, district in maybe in the state. And we really wanted our students and our coaches to be recognized for that. So we kind of brainstormed on how can we bring some attention to our guys, and so. We ran through multiple different ideas and kind of landed on, when you think of Oklahoma football, you think of, in my mind, I think of Jinx and Union, both kind of a national brand. And so we were fortunate enough to get in touch with Steve Dunlap, the associate AD at Union, and he kind of got the Oklahoma guys together, and I asked if I could come up and just present the idea to them. And so we did that last spring, and we met, and initially there was 3 schools, Union, Jinx, and Broken Arrow, that jumped in pretty quick on the idea. We had to get a couple of others. A couple of weeks later, Steve called me back and said, "Hey, we've got Bixby and Sand Springs involved." And so that's really kind of where it all began. And it's been a real fun process, and we're all very excited about it.
It's a monumental kind of partnership here between really powerhouses from the Tulsa area and then Mansfield. Tulsa Union, who was the runner-up in 2017 in their largest division, will face Mansfield Lake Ridge. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. 2-game contract. This is 2018 and 2019. Jenks, which is, I know, the arch rival of Union, and I know with the Union AD on the line, I won't mention them very often. But they'll play Mansfield Legacy. Broken Arrow is going to take on Mansfield High. Bixby will take on Mansfield Timberview, and Sand Springs will take on Summit. And so, Mr. Dunlap, from the Oklahoma side, from the north side of the Red River, for you guys, for these big-time programs to take on teams from Texas, what has the reaction been like north of the Red River?
Well, it's been really positive and real exciting. And as for us, this will be the 7th year in a row we've played a team from Texas. We have played Trinity a couple of times. We've played South Lake Carroll 3 times, and then DeSoto 1 time. And they've all been great games. They've all been very competitive. And when we first started hearing about this, and in the spring of last year, we weren't really sure if we were going to continue with Trinity and South Lake Carroll. There was a lot of question marks there. South Lake Carroll had been doing a tremendous amount of traveling over the past few years, and they decided to stay in that area at least for a couple of years. So once that happened, I talked to Phil O'Neill on the phone, and I was just very impressed with his plan. And what really sold the idea is when he came up to one of our conference meetings and brought his varsity head football coaches with him, and he just put forth a great proposal and a partnership. And I think that's what really sold the idea. I mean, we were all well aware of Mansfield and the outstanding programs they had, but we were anxious to learn more. And so after they came here, we went down to Mansfield and saw their facilities and was just even more impressed. And so everybody up here is very excited, but I really give Philip the credit. He has really done a great job of putting this together and making everybody feel at ease to work together and share ideas. And we're just expecting a great event. And we also have a track meet coming up here March 10th at Mansfield that we're excited about. And so with track and football, who knows, maybe one of these days we'll add some other sports in there as well.
It's a 2-year agreement. The 2018 Border Brawl will happen on August 31st with all the Tulsa area schools hosting Mansfield, and then next year I know you guys are looking at different venues, perhaps at a 2-day event at AT&T Stadium should the Cowboys schedule open up. And you mentioned the track meet that's coming up March 10th, and then Mansfield will return it in 2019, going up there to the Tulsa area. Mr. O'Neill, I want to ask you a little bit about why this is such a good fit for Mansfield ISD. It's not necessarily all that rare to see teams play teams from out of state, but why these teams up there in the Tulsa area? Why, especially powerhouses, Jenks, Union? Why was this such a good fit for Mansfield ISD?
We want to be the best, and we think to be the best, we've got to play the best. And, while there's some great quality teams in Texas, we felt like this was something different. The other thing in Mansfield that's big, with our superintendent, Dr. Jim Vashaskas, and with our incredible school board, is we're big on creating experiences for the students we serve. And this is an opportunity for us to create an experience for our athletes, and for the coaches to be a part of that. And so, while I think we have a tremendous amount of respect for the Oklahoma schools and the Tulsa area schools and the brand of football that they play. And so for us, it's an opportunity for us to play some national brand teams, and for us to try to improve and to get to to try to be a national brand ourselves. And so for us it was an opportunity to do multiple things, to play some different competition, to play some people that have a national brand, and to create experiences for the students we serve.
I want to ask you, Mr. Dunlap, we are a football show here in the state of Texas, and
not remotely biased.
And I'm sure folks up north of the Red River, they hear about Texas high school football. They'd love to put a black eye on the whenever they get the chance. Do you get the feeling, kind of talking to folks around the program, that they're excited about the opportunity to play teams, not just from out of state, but especially in the state of Texas?
Oh, I think people are very excited about it. Several years ago, I got to go down and watch a second round. Now, this was a second-round game at Texas. It was Allen versus Trinity. It was at AT&T Stadium. There's 4 games there that day, but there was 40,000 people there, and that's a second-round game. And I think that particular year, Trinity won in a close game. Of course, it was just a great game with a great crowd, had a college feel to it. And I went back and I told our coach, hey, if we want to elevate our program, if we want to play against the best overall football in the country, that's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. You look at all the great teams in the Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Mansfield area. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that right down there. There's just so many great players, great coaches, and great teams. And I said, we got to get down there and start playing those teams. So he went and watched the game, and he was impressed the same way and said, you're right. We've got to start playing these type of schools to try to elevate our program and get on the national level that we want to get on. And we've had some great games with Trinity and DeSoto and South Lake Carroll. And last year I was talking to the Trinity coach and told him about the Mansfield deal, and he says, I tell you what, he goes, you better be ready to play. Those Mansfield schools are outstanding. They have great coaches. He goes, it will be a great game. But and I also want to say I agree with Philip on building relationships and the experience. When we had the press conference the other day, Mansfield brought a chartered bus of 38 coaches and players, the track coaches, the football coaches, and a couple of players from each team, and they actually got to sit at the table of the coach and players of the team they'll play against, and got to talk to each other and kind of got to know each other. And we've never had that kind of relationship, and that was Philip's idea. He's the one that got that going, and he to me is the one that has just took this by the horns and let it and just done a great job at it. And so there is a great excitement. Sand Springs is a school that's never done anything like this, and they are extremely excited to start doing things like this. And I know that their community is looking forward to it as well.
All right, Mr. O'Neill, this has been very cordial, and everybody's patting each other on the back. But I just want to know, Mr. O'Neill, I mean, when the games kick off, you guys are in this to win it, right? I mean, we're gonna drop all the pleasantries. We're gonna play some football, right?
Absolutely. But I can tell you this, Steve is has been as much an integral part of this as anyone. I touched base with another person up there, and things didn't really go very far. And once I connected with Steve, the ball started rolling. And so, while Steve is giving me the accolades, it's been a true partnership, and he has played every bit of an integral role in this, taking places and making this happen as anybody. And but yeah, I mean, we're all competitors, and I can tell you, we're not going to show up and be nice, because we know that when we get on the field, and their guys are going to be playing to win too. So, it's about competition, and it's about it's one of the things I always say. It's important to compete your tail off when you get on the field, and when it's over, it's over. And and I know that that's how everybody in this partnership's going to approach it.
And I think one thing that's really unfortunately a sad mirroring of both sides of the Red River is both teams or both programs rather have a coach that's been struck by an illness. And Mr. Dunlap, I want to start with you. I understand that the coach at Jenks, Alan Trimble, he was going in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, a Hall of Fame legend coach up there, recently diagnosed with ALS, of course, a debilitating syndrome. I want to ask you, for folks around here, how can we help out Coach Trimble and really join this football family?
Well, I think they could contact Tony Dillingham. He's the athletic director at Jenks. They could probably just go online, the Jenks Public Schools website, and contact Tony Dillingham, and he would know how. It's just been it was real heartbreaking to hear that. Not only is Alan Trimble just an incredible coach that's won 13 state championships, at one time won 6 in a row, but he's just an outstanding individual. I've known him for years, back when I was a high school wrestling coach, and we'd go over and wrestle Jenks, and he would talk to me like he'd known me for years. And he's just the type of person he is, a strong, a man of strong faith, and we've certainly and truly got him in our prayers and praying for a miracle there. But we just think the world of him, and it's been a heartbreaking situation.
And the same thing, a similar situation down in Mansfield, for those who may not have heard, as Mansfield head coach Daniel Mayberry has been diagnosed with an incurable form of cancer. And Mr. O'Neill, I know that there's been an outpouring of support for him. For folks who want to get involved, what can they do to help out Coach Mayberry?
Coach Mayberry is a very strong man of faith, and his response to that would be, please, pray for him. And but I will tell you that he's doing really well. He has a great attitude. He is actually going through some treatments at the moment. And he is showing up to practice on the days when he can. So he's doing really well. I got the chance to be around Coach Trimble too, at Jenks the other day. He is playing, Jenks is playing Legacy, and Coach Trimble actually tried to hire Coach Nelson at one point in time, who's the head coach at Legacy. So they have a relationship that goes way back, and it's very obvious that Coach Trimble's an incredible guy. Has done incredible work and probably influenced, thousands of kids that have come through his program the same way Coach Mayberry has. And, those that want to help Coach Mayberry, I know there's some GoFundMe stuff that's out there. They can go look that up. But more than anything, I mean, his response to that would be, please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And he's doing well. His family's doing good. And we're optimistic that he's going to be around for a long time, and he's going to be the head football coach and coaching football at Mansfield High and influencing kids' lives the way he's done for many years for a long, long time to come. So, and I appreciate you asking about him.
Sure. Great coaches and great programs going to be involved in the border brawl between Mansfield ISD and some of the very best teams from Tulsa. Athletic Director of Mansfield ISD, Philip O'Neill, and Associate AD at Union High School, Steve Dunlap. Mr. Dunlap, really appreciate your time. I hate to say best of luck. Because here on south of the Red River, we gotta maintain our integrity. But we appreciate we certainly appreciate you hopping on with us.
Absolutely. Philip's right. I mean, we want to have a great experience and relationships, but when it comes down to it, we'll both want to win, and it actually does come down. You want to win for your state, you want to win for that reputation, and then afterwards you shake hands and hug each other and get ready to do it again the next year. And I've probably never been more excited for an event like this. It's real exciting, and I think people as it gets closer will get even more excited. So we appreciate you putting us on, and the more we can get the word out there, the better.